Next, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. Beep, 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 cars.
So today is our last day of school for the year. We have accumulated our 180 days,
Today,
and so I figured we would just show you what we're going to do today. And talk about our school and our area where we do our school.
go.
So this is our dining room. Technically on the floor plan of our house, it's the dining room. Right next to the kitchen, but we have it set up for our school area. This shelf is mine. It's got most of my supplies. There's some math manipulatives in a drawer. The other drawer has like printer ink, some computer things, battery, cords, all that. Got some paper there, construction paper and printer paper, cardstock, lined paper. The cubby right next to it is curriculum for the class I directed this past year. It was 7th graders. And then this cubby right here is primarily what Jacob's curriculum is in. And you can see there's not a whole lot. Some of it's not in there right now, but for the most part, we don't have a lot of curriculum for him. Above it is some teaching resources for me. This goes along with his curriculum, but it's mostly for me. He's not going to use it really. And then some magazines with articles that might be useful. This is some material for when I directed previous years or tutored previous years, so there's material in there for leading those classes. Some desk supplies. And when you have a 2-year-old, there's not really a shelf that can keep it out of his reach. So we are pretty simplified, and I have found that thanks to having a toddler, that has become even more of a priority because the less stuff we have, the less he can get into. This is our desk.
Yeah. And it's a mess.
It is pretty messy.
But the last day of school, so we won't have to
Right.
use it for almost
But again, we keep things pretty simple, and so we don't need a whole lot of space to spread out. Visually, it would be better. I think it would help me mentally to have it cleared off, but it's just not a reality. And I think it's too, it's not a realistic expectation when there are 2 boys in the house, such far apart in age as well. So here we have, this is the computer is always here, our printer, pens and pencils. There's Mac the truck from Disney Cars. There's his trailer right there.
these cars.
I don't know why.
Cars.
There's Play-Doh accoutrement over there. And here is our box of timeline cards. And then over here is mostly Jacob's stuff. This is Jacob's shelf. There's a lot of his art supplies are right there in that set of drawers. There's some up here, but I'm kind of moving things to another set of shelves in the room. Up there are a lot of his papers and coloring books and drawing pads that he's working on. And then below that is craft. That's our craft bin. That is all of our craft supplies shoved into that bin. We don't do a lot of crafting at home because the community that we go to for homeschool once a week does an art project. So they either do an art project, music theory, something like that. And then we have an empty cubby, so we got room for stuff. Below that is Jacob's own cubby for some of his schoolwork. So binders and things that have paper that he's going to write in on a regular basis, he keeps there. There's his backpack. Unfortunately for him, it's Lands' End. It's guaranteed for life, so he's stuck with it for pretty much forever. And then we have his technology bin. And there's some things in there that will be Jonathan's in the future. And so that's game cases, headphones. And then that bin over there, the blue bin, has material that we're not using this year. So it might be things that Jacob has outgrown and I'm saving for Jonathan, or we actually homeschool in cycles. 3 cycles, 1 each year, and then after the 3rd we start over. So the overarching theme repeats every 3 years. Yeah. Hi. Is this your school table down here?
Yeah.
You're not sitting on it properly.
Sit down table.
Sit down on table. So it's our last day, and since we have finished our co-op for the year, we actually are doing less each day. We have a pretty simplified homeschool routine, but now we kind of get into things. These last few weeks we've been doing a lot more handwriting review, drawing practice, some work on memorization, and of course we always keep up with math. So you can see behind me a list of the things that we usually do. Not all of them, some of them are only on certain days, but for the most part this encompasses what we do over the week. So here's Jacob happily working away at his math.
Yes, very happy.
Very happily. So you're doing your math lesson. What did you learn about today?
Decimal placement and
Decimal placement, but how to write them as what?
words.
Words, yep. So how to write decimal places with words. So that's what Jacob is working on, finishing up his math. What else have you done today?
I wrote out my cross-country verse, and we read some history books and
We read some hymns. We read about some presidents. We read some of Jason and the Argonauts. Do you like that story?
Yeah.
And then Jacob will have a little bit of memory work and piano. And then he'll be done for his last day of school of 5th grade. Jacob, in less than an hour, you will be a 6th grader. He's concentrating. He's mad about having to do math, so he's refusing to have a good attitude about absolutely anything else.
I'm just trying to figure this out.
And I am making lunch. So we have some fruit going, some apples, some kiwi. I have reheated some leftovers from the other night. Jacob calls this pasta toss. Some friends of ours made it when I was back from the hospital after having Jacob. Some pasta, some Italian sausage. This one has kale and there was peppers, but I think all of those have been eaten. So they are having that. I am going to have leftover chicken and leftover veggies. And we will have lunch together. What are you watching? Chuggington. So we try to use TV strategically at certain points in the day. Sometimes it's hard for somebody to put up with all the attention going to the student in the family, so he needs some downtime with TV. So usually he has some TV time while Mom is making lunch and Jacob's finishing up some school. Well, we finished school. Last day of school. Yeah. Jacob is now a 6th grader, and it just worked out that he had picked what was for dinner tonight. What did we have for dinner?
Baked potatoes.
We had baked potatoes, which we never have, so we had that. It was yummy. And another celebration is happening tonight.
We're at the bed races.
The bed races. So every year we come downtown to watch the bed races. It's a charity fundraiser. A bunch of different organizations make beds and race them. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch the bed races.
Yeah.
$4.